And we're up. We're recording. Let's go. G'day, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the CoolDadCollective podcast, the podcast that is for dads by a dad, talking everything there is to talk about fatherhood, the ups, the downs, the trials, the tribulations, everything in between. And we're back again for another week of just dissecting the journey that is fatherhood. We're out here. We're talking fatherhood. We're talking a whole bunch of things about my experiences. And you know what? What I want you to do, first things first, okay? Because I had one of these moments in the car today, and you know, I'm just gonna move my camera a little bit further forward. I could probably get closer. Oh, that's good. Now you can. Oh, there's the car outside. Now you can probably hear me or see me. I guess we're on YouTube again. So, guys, what I want you to do, I want you to stop. Okay, I want you to stop, and I want you to, because this happened to me today, and it was, I don't know, it just felt really good. I had someone at work who I'm not really super close with. It's not someone that I talk to on a daily basis. Obviously, it's very mutual. There's someone who follows my account too, and they came up to me, and you know, this is just, I'm not saying that this like woo me, all that. I don't really care. Whatever. This is something that I think is important, but the guy said to me, my colleague said to me, he goes, "Hey, Masson, I just wanted to let you know, I watch a lot of your content on like Instagram, and I just want you to know, like you're a really good dad. You're a really good dad, and you care a lot. And man, I think it's really cool seeing you and your kids, and how much you like, you know, and you enjoy being a dad." And I thought to myself, wow, like firstly I thought, wow. Firstly I thought that like, thank you. That's really nice of you to say that. Like that's something that, you know, we don't really say enough. And it got me thinking. And I was like, so many times I think to myself, and there are people, you know, who I'm friends with who I think they're such good dads. I literally see them and I see them with their kids and I'm like, man, you're such a fucking great dad. Like you're a really good dad. You're killing it. And I reckon it's I don't even think I tell them. I really don't. And I think that is something that, I don't know, we as, you know, I guess as men, but like in general, you know, and this is the same for women as well. You know, I can't really speak for mums, obviously, but you know, I feel like we probably don't recognize that enough as well. So like, you know, next time you think about it, and maybe you're sitting in the car right now, you're sitting in traffic, or maybe you're sitting at home, maybe you're doing some work or something. If you have a friend who you know is a great parent, who's a really good parent, and you know, you see them, they're doing the thing. They're really doing the thing. They're in the train. Every time you see them, you feel more motivated to know, you know, go home and do some cool stuff with your kids. Those people, send them a message. Tell them next time you see them, say, "Hey, I just want to let you know, man," or like, you know, friend, woman, whatever. "I just want to let you know you're a great parent. Like I see what you're doing. I see how much your kids love you. I see how much effort you put in. Like you're a fucking good parent. You're a really good parent." So if you have someone that you that sprang to mind just then, I know we all do. I know whenever you hear things about, oh, you know, we know this good parent or something, you know who I'm talking about. Message that person. Let them know. Tell them. Go out of your way to say, "Hey, I know I'm busy today, but I just want to spend 5 seconds to let you know you're a great parent." Because I guarantee you, there is no downside to that. They're either having a great day and they hear that and the day's even better, or maybe they've had the shittest day ever. Maybe their day fucking sucks, right? And that little bit of kindness, that little bit of, hey, I just want to acknowledge that you're a really good parent. That shit means so much to parents. Even if you're someone, I don't know, if you see this, I'm going to snip this up for obvious reasons, but even if you see like, you know, a parent and you don't have kids, just fucking tell them they're doing a good job. Tell them that you think they're doing a good job, because I guarantee you that shit means so much. So I just want to start the podcast off on a little bit of like a bit of a gratitude section. I hate doing that shit. I hate talking about like gratitude and stuff like that, because it does such a douchebag like connotation nowadays with wellness people and stuff like that. But it is super important to, you know, ground yourself and be grateful, be really happy and love what you have. Because when you love what you have, there's only an up. You're only going to get something else that's better. You'll never do worse, you know? So loving what you have. And I think, you know, when someone tells you like, "Hey man, you're a good parent, you're doing a good job," that means so much. And it's such a small thing out of that person's day that has made my day 10 times better. I'm still on cloud 9, and they told me this at lunch. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking, you know what, I want to do something kind today, message a friend. Say, hey, you're a good parent. I've seen it. Just want to tell you, you're doing the right thing. So starting off very, very positive there because I do want to kick in and get on. But yeah, been really good this week. I've been really positive. You know, I don't want it to seem like I am this like beacon of I'm doing well. Like a lot of the things that I talk about on this podcast are things that I'm not doing well with and I'm trying to be better at. And it's sort of like a way that I document it myself. You know, I'd like to keep myself accountable by putting it. That's one of my things with accountability is when I put it out to the world, when I, you know, speak it, it makes me go, you know, I put that out there. There's people watching my stuff and you know, seeing the life and stuff like that. So you really got to work with it. And, you know, I've really been trying to work on myself as well. And I think I'm in a really great headspace. And there's nothing better than working really hard on yourself. And if anyone's doing this, everyone, and you know, I'm sure many people are working really hard on yourself. Like sit back, have a look at where you came from, have a look how you react to certain situations and you know, have a look at a percentage of how much you're happy. And if that percentage has gone up, like you're really working on yourself to you know, feel better. Like acknowledge that you're feeling a little bit better because it means it's working. You know, so often we go through life and we don't acknowledge the small wins because we're just looking for that bigger picture of when it's done. But, you know, you got to acknowledge those small things and take those small wins. So, yeah. In saying that, though, we are going to start with a bit of a funny story. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen on Tuesdays I hang out with my girls. It's very fun. It's my favorite day of the week. And I've really started, Skylar is obviously almost 4. She pretty much is 4. She's not technically 4 yet, but she is. To me, she's 4. She's old enough and she's very mature for her age, like talks a lot and all that sort of stuff. And she's wanted to... she wanted to sort of like, I don't know, do something a bit more structured on a Tuesday. And I'm all about that, obviously, with my job. And I think it's a good thing for her to sort of, you know, we do things that aren't just, you know, mucking around with toys and stuff like that. So I started doing Tuesday science experiments and I love it. It's fantastic. And I thought I'd start really, really simple on the first Tuesday. And we do the old bloody Mentos and Coke volcano. Fantastic. What an idea, hey? What an idea. So obviously went to the shops, got all the stuff we needed. It's a very simple activity. You get Coke, you get Mentos. And, you know, if you want to dress it up, you can paper mache and actually make a volcano and whatnot. We didn't have the time for that, but, you know, we did sort of pretend like, oh, because Skylar's really into dinosaurs, which is, you know, crazy for me because dinosaurs stereotypically usually a boy thing. Skylar's really into it. I think it just might be a toddler thing. She loves the dinosaurs and she loves volcanoes now because we're talking about the dinosaurs a lot. So we did a volcano. Now, my mistake was I showed Skylar and Summer was out. I showed them what the experiment was going to do. Now, this taking into consideration, I didn't know I fucked up the experiment from the start. Okay, I won't lie to you. I thought there was a part of me, I had my pride. My pride was in the way. I thought, man, Mattson, come on, man. You're a guy. You've exploded things with Mentos before. Like, get over it. Just do what you did usually. It's fine. Now, I went to the shops and I bought just the regular, like, home brand cola, right? Now, I may have skipped the bit where diet soda or diet cola is the thing that works better with Mentos, right? So we watched all these YouTube videos, and I mean, these YouTube science videos are so sick. Like, these bottles are freaking rocketing up bloody Coke into the air. I'm like, this is going to be sick. I'm so excited to do this. Now, if you've seen the video, and I'm going to probably play it over this clip, not what happened with me. Not what happened with mine. Very, very lackluster. And, you know, after I've showed Skylar all these amazing videos where these Coke bottles just fucking hit the ceiling, it's sick. Skylar saw ours, and she had what I would say the most polite way of saying that was fucking terrible. And I put it on my Instagram, but the Coke bottle fizzed up. I was super excited about it. It started fizzing a little bit, and we were all like, this is going to be mad. And then it stopped, and I was like, right, you know, the Mentos is really, it's boiling up in there. It's getting ready. It's going to explode. And we sat there for like, I don't know, it felt like 10 minutes, but it was about 10 seconds. And nothing happened. Because, in fact, the first bit, when I added the Mentos and it exploded a little bit, that was it. That was it. And the look on Skylar's face when that was it was just utter disappointment. utter disappointment. I'll give you an example of how it felt. When I was 9 years old, okay, in Australia, we had Smith's chips. They released this like really super cheesy Bega chip. And in the ad, the guy bit down on the chip and then it like spread like mozzarella. And I thought to myself, holy shit, I can't wait to have these chips because they're going to separate like that. My mum bought me a bag of them. I chomped into the first chip thinking it's going to stretch. It didn't. I'm disappointed. My mum looked at me like, are you stupid? Of course it's not going to do that with cheese. Similar to Face to Skylar. She saw this on YouTube. She saw how high it was going to go. She got so excited for it. We put the Mentos in. I'm like, it's a whole packet of Mentos. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Just a little like up in the air. And the funniest thing about the whole situation is I wanted to try and hype it up. I want to be like, this is mad. And I could see in her face, and this is one of those moments where you realize you know your kid so well and your kid has like some sort of personality. I could see it in her eyes. She wanted to say something. She wanted to say how shit it was, but she didn't. She said, "Oh, Dad, that was fun." That's her first word. She said it was fun, and in my head, I'm like, "Oh God, I know it was shit, darling. That's so cute. Thank you for being such a sweetheart and telling me that was fun," because I know it wasn't. But anyway, it's those moments where you go to so much effort. You really try. Like, it was one of those things where I was like, man, this is going to be one of those things that Skylar talks about for like days. Like, we're going to go home to mom. And anyway, she's going to be like, oh, it was so cool. Dad exploded this soft drink bottle. I'm going to be like, I'm the best dad ever. Yeah, great work. Didn't work. Did not work. But you know what? I'm going to go back next week. Next Tuesday, we're doing Science Tuesdays again. And far out, you best believe I'm making these things explode. We're gonna do it. And that's one thing that no one talks about with having kids is you get this new lease on life, right? Where, when I was a kid, putting Mentos in like Coke bottles was the best. Like, you'd put them in, you put the lid on, you'd shake it up, and then you'd slam it on the ground and see how far the thing would go. I obviously wouldn't do that with a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, but, you realize like there's like a certain period of time where you don't do that anymore. You just sort of like grow out of that and you're just like, nah, I probably wouldn't waste that. And then you have kids again, and then you just get this feeling of like, this is sick. Why aren't I doing this more? Why aren't I doing this shit more? Like, it's so much fun. Like, another thing like that is bubbles. Simplest thing, right? You get one of those big bubble ones, right? And in your head, you're like, oh, what am I doing? Then you get like a massive bubble, like just grow, like form, and your kid's face is just like, this is the sickest shit ever. What am I doing? Literally. They're those moments. They're those dad moments where you're just like, that's right. Like, this shit is so fun. Like, it's really fun. I think the Bloody Brilliant Beers boys spoke about this. Oh man, it would have been ages ago. I think Klutzy would remember. He had a big bit about him going camping, and like people don't use sparklers anymore. Like, as a kid, you just run around with sparklers and stuff like that. Like, you don't realize how fun that is until you give one to your kids. Haven't done it yet, just so you know. Maybe when they're a bit older, but you give one to the kids, and the kids are like losing it, and you just sit there, you're like, that's right. You can almost live vicariously through them. You're just like, that's right. This was sick. Like, this was so cool. So, it's nice. And once again, they're one of those gratitude moments. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, these are things that we forget we did as kids. Life, the criminal thing about having kids is you have kids at a time where you're almost finished with being childish. You know what I mean? Like, even for me, like, I love making ridiculous jokes, and I'll probably still do childish things, like I game heaps and do all that sort of stuff. And, when I'm with my mates, it's even worse. But at the end of the day, you still got to think about bills, and you got to think about work and all these, I guess, adult things. So you forget, right? You forget about those things, and then you remember, and, it might be like a flashback to like a moment you had as a kid or something like that. And you just go like, yeah, dude, life was pretty good. Life was pretty good back then, or life was pretty good at that certain moment in time. And then you see your kids, and even if your childhood wasn't the best, and I think the best thing was, I saw this thing, and I can't really speak about this because I don't think I have the right to speak about it, because my childhood was very positive. It was more positive than negative. I had certain ups and downs, but nothing too serious. But for those parents who have went through a lot of stuff as kids, or with their families or something like that, like, you're raising the kid. You're the parent. You can be the parent that you deserve to have when you were a kid to your kid. Like, the parent that you wanted, the parent that you really needed. You get to be that parent. That is the most powerful fucking thing to come from trauma, is the fact that you get to be the person that you longed for so much as a kid and watch your kid flourish in a way that you weren't able to do. And that's really, sorry to get, I actually went on a bit of a tangent. Sorry to get a little bit bloody serious on you really quickly, but yeah, like that is so true. Like that is such a powerful thing to have. And I think taking back our power in trauma is one of the most liberating feelings ever. And you know, I see people do it all the time. I see people who have had, you know, awful childhoods, and like I said, don't want to get too dark, but then you see the way they are as a parent, and once again, you're just like, dude, you did it. Like, you're taking it back. You get a second chance now. You get to have this family that you wanted, the family that you needed. You get to create that now. And that's an amazing feeling. So if that's you, you know, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yes. That is a huge, amazing moment. If you're realizing that right now, like if this is an epiphany moment for you right now, that you are that person, you're that parent, like that's huge. That's amazing. That's an amazing feeling. So really relish in that too. Yeah, sorry to turn that, but I saw this thing. It's the tired dad. And, you know, I really like to empathize with a lot of dad's stories, or I really like to embody when I'm talking to another dad about, you know, what actually makes them click, or, you know, what is a value of theirs. I love hearing where it comes from, and I love seeing how we're all different. And like I said, this is number one reason why we're doing Keep Showing Up, the documentary, which I always talk about, and I will always talk about it. And I'm sorry if you're annoyed about it, because it is something that I'm so proud of. It is something that it is an amazing thing for fathers to be able to see and all that sort of stuff. So, and, you know, hoping if you're listening to this podcast, this is sort of hit you a little bit too. And I know it's really scat. Sorry, I've got a lot of ideas. I just finished work. So I like to be as transparent and honest. And to be honest, we're 17 minutes in. I haven't even spoken about anything I wanted to talk about this episode, but I think it's important to talk about things that I want to talk about, because that's it. This podcast is just a random dad talking about the stuff that goes on in his head. So I will jump into a little bit of what I was going to talk about, because it is, you know, oddly specific, but I do like it. But yeah, we're going to talk about, I guess, 2 years later from 2 under 2. And I won't make it a big segment. I just wanted to sort of, because I know I've had a couple of people ask me on Instagram, and it's probably one of my number one answered questions is, what is life like with 2 under 2? So for those who don't know, I had my second daughter when my eldest daughter, Skylar, was 2. So there was, I think my eldest daughter was born 3 days after the date that my youngest daughter was born. So we had around, I'm going to say, really technicality here, but we had about 3 days where we had 2 under 2. But, you know, I always feel like 2 under 2 counts if your kid's 2 to 3 and you've got a newborn, because they're like the same. And it's incredibly difficult, and it's tough to sort of say, like, I think the jump from 1 to 2 was both the easiest and hardest thing to do for different reasons. The jump from 1 to 2 in terms of newborn, you've already done a newborn before. It's piss easy. Like, I'm not saying it's piss easy as in, like, you know, there's still things that go wrong, but what I mean is you're used to dealing with a 2-year-old, and a 2-year-old is arguably so much more, I'm going to say, active than a newborn. I'm going to say 100%. You obviously have to deal with different things as a newborn that are equally as tough, but realistically, the movement, the stuff, they're very sedentary. Like, you can deal with crying and stuff like that, but they're not moving around, right? So you go back and you think about it, and usually we go through this phase where our eldest, whether they're at kindy or maybe they're getting looked after by someone, you get a little bit of time where you and the baby, and you actually realize, like, you have a bit more free time. You know, you can watch a bit of TV while bub sleeps, all that sort of jazz. But as the baby gets a little bit older, it gets harder, and you start to deal with different things, and you start to do that. So I do say, and I do preface this as, it is hard. It's a hard thing to do, go from 1 to 2. They're both 1 to 2 and 0 to 1 are very hard for different reasons. Now, I want to sort of put a bit of a light on the positive. Okay, now 2 under 2 is very hectic, but you're in about a 2-year time frame till it evens out. So we're at that end point now where our youngest Summer is 2 and our eldest is 4. And I just want to tell you this, and it's a really quick thing I just want to tell you. It is so much easier. Okay, life is so much easier now. If you're in the trenches right now with a second child and you've got another really young child at home, it is hard, but I promise you it gets easier. And it gets easier for 2 points. It gets easier for one because you get used to dealing with two. Okay, it's way easier. But the other thing is too, as your eldest gets older, they're so much more self-sufficient. They are able to do so much more than you think they can do. And when that baby comes, and I don't know if I'm very lucky, and I do like to think that I am a little bit lucky, and that Skylar was really good with her sister, but they almost get this energy in them, like this big sibling energy. And as they get older and older and realize that they are a big sibling, and that you care about them so much, but you do have to deal a little bit more with the other, it gets so much easier. I mean, kindy at the moment, getting ready for kindy is one of my favorite times of the day now. It's gone from my most loathed time of the day to one of my favorite. We get up, breakfast is there. Skylar will just eat her breakfast, go and get changed, come in and be ready to go. And, you know, fair play. We worked really, really, really hard to get to that point, but it worked. It got to a point where all that hard work, all that really annoying on the days that you just be like, look, I'll get you ready, but you persevere. It comes up, you win big time in the future. It is an investment, right? So we're at a good point now, but life is a lot easier. The kids are doing more for themselves. My Tuesdays now, where I have the girls, are so much more active and fun. They are filled with way less crying. They're filled with way less stress, you know, and you find yourself laughing a lot more. So if you are in the trenches right now, if you are thinking to yourself, this sucks, when does it end? I don't like to speak for everybody, and I never preface this by saying I'm always right, but it's going to get better. I promise you it's going to get better. And those days where you sit there, you're like, I'm literally battling this. I'm battling making my kid pick up their own toys. I'm battling making my kid get changed. They're crying all the time. Stick to it. Please don't bend the rules. Stick to it. Be disciplined with it, because I promise you, 6 months of that, 6 months of just battling through it, they just do it. They'll wake up one day and automatically you'll catch them. You'll be like, I didn't even ask her to get changed. She's getting changed right now. That is insane. So, you know, if it's coming down to anything, and it's hard. It's hard to pick those days because it is important to, obviously, you know, teeth brushing for us. And we're kind of jumping sideways there, but teeth brushing, it just is the fucking worst. It sucks. It's so shit. I feel like I'm honestly giving my kid a lobotomy when I'm trying to brush their teeth. Like the sounds that someone makes when I'm trying to brush their teeth is insane. But the thing is, we kept at it. And now we're getting to the point where the girls go straight from shower, literally get in their jammies. They just know they go to brush their teeth. And it all came from those really, really hard days of like, I don't want to force them to do this, but I have to. So if you can learn anything from me, and I never like to make myself like, you know, learn from me, do what I do. But I just want to reassure you, you're doing the right thing, okay? You are doing the right thing by putting the work in and dealing with the shit. And on days that it sucks, just know that in 6 months to a year's time, and I know that's a long time, but trust me, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth you sticking up every day, showing up and doing that dad stuff, doing that parent stuff. So yeah, 2 under 2, it gets better. It gets easier, and it gets way more fucking fun. Way more fun. And soon you'll be sitting in the back, you'll be sitting in a car, you'll have a grateful moment. Your family will be chatting. You know, you've got your 4-year-old who's just, God knows what they're talking about. Your 2-year-old who's throwing in like 3 or 4 words here or there, just making you laugh. And then you sit there, you're like, this is worth it. This is good. This is my Olympics moment. This is my moment where all the training worked out. And I've got this one moment where I'm like, it's fucking worth it. So yeah, guys, you know, we obviously are coming up around the end, and it always goes fast when I'm talking about something I'm really passionate about. And there's a lot of things in there, but you know, at the end of the day, we're very lucky. Like, you know, we're in a time where parenting is looked at as so important, and it should be. It's very important, and you have that opportunity. You have an opportunity to put the work in to create something that's going to make a really positive impact on our world. And that's our responsibility as parents. So guys, you know, keep showing up, keep doing your thing. You're doing amazing stuff, and just know the job that you're doing is ultra important. And I want to do an episode where I sort of dive into my job, because I obviously do work with kids a lot. I work with teenagers. I am a high school teacher. I feel like it's time that I actually say what I am because, it is what it is. And I think I do have a bit of an experience. And one of the episodes I want to work on is obviously as a teacher, what are, values or what are things that I want to instill in my kids that I think are very important coming from a teacher-student interaction. So I'm looking forward to doing that one. That one's going to have a lot more effort into it, and I think it's important. But you guys, you know what it is? We're back again. We're on the weeks, man. I want to roll. I fucking love this shit. And I love you guys. I appreciate you. Every time someone hits me up, every time someone messages me, I just love what I do. I genuinely love what I do. And bringing energy to such an important topic like fatherhood, when someone is bringing so much passion and energy, I feel like it brings others up, and that's what I want to do. So, guys, just like I said at the start of the podcast, if you know there's a dad out there who's doing the shit, he's doing the good stuff, he's working really hard, or a mum, right? Give us a mum some love. But guys, go text them. Tell them how much you think they're a good parent, because it's going to make their day. It's only a positive. We're looking at creating positive ripples. You give a positive comment to that person, they might go home and give it to someone else. It's that circle of positivity, as lame as it sounds. But you know what it is, guys. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Take care of your partner, your kids. If you want to get in contact with the podcast, email CoolDadCollective@hotmail.com, or go follow us on all sorts of platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Your boy's everywhere. I think I even started a Red Book account too, but who knows how's that going to go. I'm just a content addict, brother. All right, guys, you know what it is. Enjoy what it is. Take everything in, and just more importantly, just enjoy it. I hate these sign-offs. I'm so bad at it. Peace.